gets us to the next thing, which is the teaching research nexus, or the network between teaching and research. Over the past 2 decades, there have been numerous calls for universities to forge stronger links between teaching and research. Actually, if there is no research in teaching, it is like the missing soul. This is known as teaching and research nexus, which was suggested by Newman to enhance student learning. Hattie and Marsh, they even argued that the aim is to increase the circumstances in which teaching and research have occasion to meet. We are wanting that they meet more frequently, there is more nexus, there is more networking, and they get to know each other better, and gradually, like good friends, they will realize that we cannot go independently, we can perform better when we are going together hand in hand. The TR Nexus can even be viewed as the defining characteristic of higher education. Many of the philosophers believe that education would be superficial, perfunctory if it is not backed by research. So, grooming students towards research and in this process educating them would be the real knowledge, would be real education, more so in higher education. Traditional teaching tends to keep undergraduate students at arm's length from the world of research, and when you are away from the world of research, you are away from realities. There is a framework of nexus of this teaching research nexus which was suggested and developed by Healy in the year 2005. And he suggested to capture different approaches to establish the TR Nexus to link teaching and research in higher education. By TR Nexus, I mean teaching and research. The TR Nexus is characterized along 2 dimensions, the different categories to which we can put it on the basis of 2 dimensions. One is the content of learning, that is what of this entire learning process, which can focus on research results or research process, the skills and competencies. And the second dimension of it is the role of learners, which we say the how. So, it is all about the what and the how, which leads to the 4 different categorization of TR Nexus. The how dimension of learning is who can be treated as an audience or as participants. So, this leads us to 4 broad categories: research led, research tutored, research based and research oriented teaching. The research led, where students learn about the current research; research tutored where the students are engaged in research discussions as active participants; research based, where students undertake research and inquiry. This is the most active form, where the students need to be most active because they would be conducting the inquiry. And finally, the research oriented, where students learn about the methods, techniques, processes of conducting research. A typical classification of the research teaching nexus, therefore, offered by Griffiths, it includes 4 approaches, as I said: research led teaching and research based. In research led teaching, the curriculum is structured around subject content. What is the content of the curriculum? Based on the research interest of teaching staff. I again say, here the teaching staff does not need to indulge himself with the pressure that they have to do research and only then they can go for research led teaching. Here the students are taught about the research findings, which may be the lecturer's findings or somebody else where the lecturer's interest lies. The research oriented teaching, where the curriculum places as much understanding on the processes by which knowledge is produced as on the outcome. So, here it is both the process as well as outcome, and the students here are taught about research processes as well as methods. Third, research based teaching. Here the curriculum is based around inquiry based activities. That means research based is most active, where researchers, the students act as researchers. They conduct inquiry, they enter into in-depth analysis and come out with research results. Rather than only acquisition of the content, the division of roles is there between teacher and student, in the sense that teacher is only a facilitator. And then comes the research informed teaching that draws consciously on systematic inquiry into the process of teaching and learning, one strand above the others, and it is like the pedagogic research. One particularly interesting approach to the TR Nexus is research based approach, where we talk about research based education also, and here the students are active participants, they are involved in inquiry. Brew has emphasized the importance of research and inquiry for student learning. For the students who are the professionals of the future, developing the ability to investigate problems, make judgments on the basis of sound evidence, take decisions on a rational basis, and understand what they are doing and why they are doing it is vital. Research and inquiry is not just for those who choose to pursue an academic career, which is one myth which lies with everybody. Why do I go for research? Why do I need to imbibe research? I never want to make a career in that. Actually, research, I would say, the R in it also stands for reality. It is an interface of what we read in the curriculum, the theoretical approach, and the reality. It is central to professional life, and more so in the present times, in the 21st century, where professional challenges are so multifaceted that research based education would give the desired edge. However, within the research based approach, the inquiry can either focus on knowledge that is new to the students, which we say information oriented inquiry, or it could be discovery oriented inquiry, which is knowledge that is new to the discipline, which would lead to a new discovery. And one is something which is new to the student, just new information, and other is where it is a discovery oriented inquiry, where it is something new. Strategies. Some of the strategies through which optimal research teaching linkage can be achieved. Now, this entire program or this content is aiming at how can we have a better research based education system so that we can groom learners, we can groom students who are better placed for taking the challenges of real life. These strategies would involve strategies like, number one, improving the communications within and beyond the discipline about research and teaching. Now, the point is we need to come out of the watertight compartments where I am limited to only my discipline. It is very important that there are linkages amongst different disciplines. When we go for research, we as researchers or teachers, it involves many things which are beyond our curriculum. So, in that thing, we have to have an interface with other disciplines which results in a holistic personality. Second strategy could be building the research teaching nexus into the curriculum at all stages of the university learning. When the curriculum defines that this course is based on research, this practical research, it will be more of a habit building process rather than a challenge that today we are going to talk something about research. When it is built into the curriculum, it is like you are programming your mind to think as a teacher as well as a student. So, it actually prepares you better, and the result would be better research based teaching. Third could be producing a guide for linking research and teaching within the disciplines, and the example could be case studies, whereby we are providing a framework through which different disciplines are connected, and when a part of the curriculum we will refer back to the different disciplines and come back with an answer, because it is more of a compulsion and no choice. Next, emphasizing the importance of teaching excellence in staff assessment and appointment. We are groomed, we are driven so much by necessities. If the accrediting authority or appointment essentials require that this much teaching should be, say 50% should be research based, we will automatically be driven towards making a pedagogy in such a sense that our teaching involves research, and it would not be a choice. Enhancing the use of active learning approaches. Passive learnings are gone by, when only the book, the curriculum, etc. would serve. Today we are talking about active linkages between the